like, honestly, I don't even know where to begin. I'm still, like, in utter shock about the ruin changes that we're going with here. You know, I think about what they could have done, and like there's just so many ways around this. Like, I was sitting here thinking about this. There are so many reasons why this change is just so bad. Okay, like, I can't even get over it. Okay, but you know, let's try to meet these people halfway. All right, I always try to do that here. Let's meet them halfway. So we're changing Hex Ruin. Okay, let's talk about why this eventually needed to happen. Hex Ruin is a fucking... I hate Hex Ruin. Like, I'm certainly not gonna stick up for Hex Ruin's design by any stretch of the imagination. I don't like Hex Ruin's design. Because the fucking perk can give you inconsistent rewards out the ass, with it getting popped in 10 seconds, and or giving you insane rewards, or when you're a survivor not even seeing a whole skill check and the perk didn't do anything when you were on the gen. So it's like, this perk is so fucking inconsistent. Okay? The problem with this is this game is not at a healthy enough state where it's ready to go. Okay? So it's like, you know what, if I was ready to let go of Ruin, and if I think most killers are ready to let go of Ruin, then this change would be easier to suffice and deal with, you know? But like, we're at a state of the game, but let's talk about what's in this game. With the god loops, and the commodious toolboxes, with the brand new parts, and the purple flashlights, and the exhaustion perks, and it's so baffling to me. that all this shit is in the game, and Ruin is the thing we're gonna single out and get rid of right now. Okay. So first of all, there is a way to get rid of Hex Ruin, the right way, because again, I would like this game to be in 2 years' time to be away from Hex Ruin, but only when it's ready. Only when it's ready to do so. Okay? So, okay. And we'll talk, this is the main idea at the end. So, like, how do we really get this game away from Hex Ruin? Okay, there is a way. So, if the devs chose to, like... Let's talk about what the devs did, okay? You wake up, I fucking was just scrolling through Facebook, okay, in the fucking shower when I read the fucking changes, okay? So it's like you're sitting there doing the most random things when you fucking read the changes, and it's like you fucking like you're sitting there going, okay. You wake up on fucking January 6th and Hex Ruin's in Dead by Daylight, and then you fucking read and just go, oh, by the way, we're nerfing Hex Ruin tomorrow. PTB's up. Have fun. Like, what? What? That's seriously. That's how they went about doing this. By the way, here's an update. We're changing Dr. Oddball. Also, by the way, we're nerfing your best meta perk. Bye! That's their little newsletter. Also, the newsletter came off as condescending and rude. Like, seriously, to killer players it did. Very rude, very biased analysis from the Dead by Daylight developers. Very rude analysis. True Talent said this in his video. It's a very biased analysis. I'm the one that's going to go forward and say it's rude. It's rude because... The other side's voice was not even brought into the discussion. There was no talk about how this change was implemented, why killer mains might think it's a good idea. Like, there was nothing that, like... There was nothing that... that showed any kind... It just shows, like, here's why it's frustrating to play against. Well, you know what? Let's talk about why it's frustrating to go up against fucking jungle gyms. Let's talk about why 80-second gen times are frustrating. You know, it was a terrible presentation. So, like, it's a big slap in the fucking face to the killer mates, where we're basically being told, hey, you're not working hard enough. Again, you're not working hard enough. Bitch, we juggled 4 people on 7 generators on some huge ass fucking maps. like, ridiculous. And if you don't think killers work hard, play. And I'm not talking about play fucking gray ranks. I'm talking about learn killer and get good and rank up. You will see what we go through. Some guy's like, oh, I went from 20 to 6 in killer in one day. I straight up just don't believe you. I don't believe that guy when he tells me that. He just seems like some fucking 15-year-old trying to be cool, like trying to flex on me online. Like, I straight up just don't believe that guy. But anyway, so yeah, very rude presentation. Okay, if I was behavior, here is what I would have done. You have to you start with this. You start with. Over the past few years since its release, Hex Ruin has been a staple of the killer metagame. Okay? The first thing you need to do is explain to the survivor players why. Because, again, this is a change with total rank 15 mentality all over it. You need to explain to the casuals why. Because the casuals don't understand. It's the casual survivor, rank 15 survivor doesn't know anything about what rank 2 killer goes through. So, I don't understand why we're balancing the game for them, but we'll talk more about that as we go on here. But rank 2, like rank 15 survivor, they don't understand why they see Ruin so much. So you explain to them, and not Gatekeeper, fuck that. We don't run Hex Ruin because of Gatekeeper. We run Hex Ruin to win. We run Hex Ruin to have the tools to win. It's not about Gatekeeper. It's about having the tools necessary to win. That's why we run Hex Ruin. Fuck Gatekeeper. And that was the shittiest fucking excuse I've ever heard in my life. We run Hex Ruin to win. Killers need Hex Ruin because the generator repair times in this game are not enough. The fact is, Hex Ruin does not make the game unbalanced. It makes the game what it should be. It slows down the gens, and sometimes not even enough. But a lot of the times, it slows down the gens to what the time should be base. So you're explaining this, that the killers do not have adequate enough time to patrol the map, to do these chases, and then keep all the gens. Like, the killers just are ill-equipped to deal with this game without Hex Ruin. That's what you should be noting. When explaining to the casuals, say, we have taken note that the killers are ill-equipped right now to deal with the situations that they have. We are taking note of this. And then you should say, by 1 year's time, we hope to phase Hex Ruin out of the game. Because I believe that it's time to start phasing Hex Ruin out of the game. I do. We've done a lot of progress with Survivor nerfs over the last year, which is why which is why the last 5 months have just been a total oddity. I don't understand why we're going insane with these killer nerfs. I don't understand. Just keep going back on my channel. You can see my increasing frustrations go. I don't know why we're attacking killers so much right now. We were making a ton of progress last year, and then it just stopped. But anyway. So we say we believe that we are capable of phasing Hex Ruin out. Here's what you do. You say, Survivor mains will need to understand, or you say something along these lines. Survivor mains will need to understand that this will mean the introduction of new perks to stall gen times, or maybe even a complete overhaul to the win condition about making gen times slower. Survivors will need to understand that Hex Ruin is ran because of a specific problem with this game that we are currently trying to face. People have expressed frustration with the fact that Ruin is a needed thing at these high levels. So, we're going to work on phasing it out. Please understand that every perk we try will not be perfect. I'm not against a combination of perks being able to phase Hex Ruin out. The problem is we haven't found the right one yet. And why haven't we found the right one yet? Let's talk about the Ruin replacements. Thanatophobia, Sloppy Butcher, Dying Light, Pop Goes the Weasel, etc. Pop Goes the Weasel, it's theoretically fine when when they get going, and once they get going, and they're theoretically good enough to help to do it. The problem is this is a late game setup. All right. The problem is that The game starts, and then nobody wants to fucking say this, and for God's sakes, I'm not saying that the game should start with somebody on the hook. But let's talk about how this game starts. This game starts with survivor-favored conditions, like immediately. The killers spawn far away from the survivors. The survivors are spawned near generators. The survivors can immediately begin working on generators as soon as the match starts. These are survivor-favored conditions. Nobody's being chased. Nobody's being downed. Nobody's on a hook. No one's doing anything except gen repair times. And probably cleansing your ruin totem. Let's not fucking kid each other. So... So the game starts in survivor-favored conditions, and the killer usually, killers they do get a feel for where the spawns happen, and the early game patrol times do decrease, admittedly, but but still, then you have to down the guy, and then survivors can know, so they can go to other gens. They might not. They might. There's other factors that go into it. The fact is that the first couple minutes of the trial, the only two perks that are good for stalling gen times are Ruin and Corrupt Intervention. And Corrupt Intervention ain't no Hex Ruin. Corrupt Intervention would only be a good perk if it clogged up all the gens until you're first down or something stupid like that. Because survivors just stealth it out. That's what they do. They just go, okay, we're just gonna sit here until this is over. That's what they do. And the fact is, frustrations at ranks 10, 15, like the yellow ranks, not even 10. I think rank 10s understand this game enough to know why Hex Ruin leaving is a bad thing. I'm still sick, so that's still what the deal with me is right now. But the main point here is that of all these perks, Thanatophobia, Dying Light, the killer has to already get momentum going before they start doing anything. So the fact is that you could get they can get 2 gens done before you're first down, and then Thanatophobia, Dying Light, all those perks don't really do anything. You're kind of already too deep in the hole. That's what the main issue is right now. So the devs should be understanding that that's the main issue, and that's what Ruin stops. So, they're going to say, okay, we need more perks that do this. We need more gen perks that stop this aspect of the game versus this aspect of the game. You know what I'm saying? So, if the devs understood that, the only way the devs would understand that is if they're paying attention to high-level play. But they're not. Because the devs are concerned with the revolving door nature of this game. That people come in and then people leave. That's what the devs are concerned with. They want a new player to come in, and then they'll keep that new player around as long as possible, and then the new player becomes a veteran player, gets frustrated, and leaves. And then by the time that that veteran player leaves, the new player is already on his way in. It's a revolving system. And the reason that another thing that helps the fact that it's a revolving system is the fact that there's no competitive scene. So there's no reason to stay loyal to this game. There's no potential cash payout, there's no streams, there's no tournaments, there's no hype. In the way that Mortal Kombat has, for example. Or Smash. Or COD, or fucking Fortnite. Fortnite has a World Cup, what does this game have? Nothing. So that's the aspect. The devs aren't concerned with their veteran players. With the Stranger Things chapter, and then with this huge influx of new players, the devs are in a position where they're going to piss people off. Because they can. Because they've had enough new players to where they can afford some of their veterans leaving. That's what's going on right now. Because the game's getting bigger, they're in a position where it's well, okay, well, why don't we just piss some of we can afford to piss some of our veterans off because we have so many new players. So by appeasing our new casual players, we're in a position where we can potentially keep these players longer, so our veterans matter less. That's an insulting philosophy. It's an insulting philosophy. I'm sorry, I am so sick of the fact that we don't balance this game for the fucking high ranks. It's absolutely insulting to me. That's like if you're fucking playing baseball and the guy gets struck out, and then the coach comes out or the umpire says, okay, he struck out, now he hits off the tee, because that's what we do at casuals. That's what the 6-year-olds are doing when they play. So that's what seriously, Hex Ruin being nerfed feels like we have to let survivors hit off the fucking T in T-ball. Because it feels like we're restricting the high-level nature of this game, but we certainly don't do trickle-down fucking balancing like we should. I think that's what it's called. Reagan economics or whatever it's called, like Reagan balancing. It's how we should do. Like I cannot understand that philosophy for the life of me. We shouldn't be balancing we shouldn't be balancing for the fucking nobodies. We shouldn't be balancing for the losers that suck. I don't understand that, bruh. We shouldn't be balancing for the fucking trash of this game. Like, you see stupid nerfs like fucking Doctor's Madness only doing 25% instead of your full bar. That was never affected at top level. True Talent read that change and he laughed! He laughed! Because it's like, what a fucking joke. What a fucking joke. That's what we're doing. It's frustrating to play against Doctor for new players. Who the fuck cares? Doctor is trash. Let's be fucking real. Doctor's trash, and let's be real. This nerf isn't good. This nerf, buff, whatever, rework, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This ain't gonna do shit for him. This ain't gonna do fucking shit for him. The character's core problems are still there. They're still not addressed by the rework, which is lack of subversion, power not that great in the chase. It's still there. I like the static blast, but like that's not gonna do anything. Seriously, if you want to fucking balance the game, this game needs a massive overhaul if you're gonna balance it for competitives. Like seriously, if you're gonna balance this game for the competitive players and the high ranks, do you know how many things are immediately changed? Immediately. Like, this ain't no one at a time thing. This is immediate. Like, you gotta increase the killer FOV. You have to fucking make the gen times take longer. Like, there's so many things that instantly need to get done if you're gonna balance this game for the people that fucking just don't take it. Because these high rank, these veterans will just take it, right? We've been playing so long that it doesn't matter. We'll keep coming back no matter what the fuck you give us. Like, that's such an insulting mentality. And it's like when you sit there and you make these mechanics easier, the people that are more experienced are going to exploit them. And that happens on both sides. That can happen on both sides. But like, making Ruin easier to help the scrubs play the game is only going to be exploited by the people at the top of the chain. That's only going to make the top level play even more unbalanced. Balancing the game for the middle doesn't balance it at the top, but if you balance it for the top, it balances it for the middle and for the bottom. It makes total fucking sense, dude. And like, I don't know, I don't understand why seeing the game played and seeing what's good in it, that will inspire people to like not want to play it. Like seeing somebody uses Dead Hard good, like wow, like if I would kill if somebody uses Dead Hard, it's like Jesus Christ. Like I want to fucking learn how to fucking counter that. Not fucking Dead Hard needs nerfed. I don't think Dead Hard needing nerfed is a common opinion. It's certainly very good. But like, you know, again, Hex Ruin's not a fun perk, but like we're not in a state of the game to where we can handle its loss. That's because we balance it for these fucking casual fucking pieces of shit that are not gonna be good anyway. You can't teach looping. You can't teach running this shit. Anybody can do a fucking generator. Anybody. My fucking 7-year-old brother could do a generator. I bet he could. I'm gonna fucking see if he can do it. Like anybody can sit here and do a generator. Not everybody can kite. So like when you're sitting here fucking nerfing these aspects of the game, you make the game look terrible. And like people that play fighting games or other games that are not balanced like the way it just makes our game look like a joke. This is a cancerous balancing philosophy. It's a cancerous philosophy. And I was at the point where, you know, you can like accept it for what it is at one point, but it's like, you know, back when I was accepting it for what it is, I was like within those mid ranks. Okay? But like, like when you rank up, you see why that's a horrible balancing philosophy. It's absolutely awful. It treats the veterans like shit. It's insulting. It's like they don't care about what we think. They don't care about our opinions of the game. They're like, seriously, I even think that top level survivors understand why this is a bad change. This is like the difference between this change and other changes that we've seen is like I've had more survivors just on the internet like agreeing that this is not a good idea. And there's survivors that win all the time. They're the top 1% of survivors. I think that anybody with an eye for this game that's not a rank 15 understands where this will take the game. And survivors will leave from lack of challenge, and the killers will leave from frustration. Because, like, they think they don't need us anymore. That's why they're doing this. That's why they're going ahead and doing this. They love their mid-rank players. And once now that they have enough mid-rank players, they think they're in a position to where they can do this and just screw us at the top. It's bullshit. I believe that's a repeated point, but it bears repeating because like the devs don't give a shit about you, dude. Like, the devs don't. It's not even just killer mains. The devs don't give a shit about high-level survivor mains. They don't give two fucking shits about you, dude. They don't give a fuck. This change, if the devs cared about a healthy competitive environment, they would actually care about this game from all aspects and all sides. They don't care about a healthy competitive environment. They care about appeasing the people that are bitching. And you know, it makes me fucking sick to my stomach because never before have I played a game where that's the type of balancing philosophy we have, where it's just we balance it for the fucking casuals and the fucking noobs that are like fucking trash, that are gonna still be bad and still lose. And guess what? They're just gonna fucking bitch about Ghostface next. They're gonna bitch about Thanatophobia. Like, where does it end with these people? Balancing the game for the fucking middle just doesn't make any sense, because where does it end? The people that are loyal to you and to understand what this game objectively needs because they're talented at it and they play it enough to understand what is good in it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me that these are not the people we're listening to. We're listening to people that fucking play other games on the side too. They do other shit, play other shit, and they're not loyal to you. They're not loyal to you. The people that are loyal to you are the ones that are upset with you right now because of what you're doing. And again, I genuinely think high-level survivors understand why this is bad for the game. I genuinely think that we have more survivor mates on our side this time than we have on anything else before. And again, I'm not talking about the rank 15 fucking fat bitch on the social media that thinks she's hot cosplaying the Huntress when she's fucking 250 pounds. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the people that fucking are good at this game and play it at the top. Ridiculous. And it's ridiculous that we listen to these people that aren't loyal. They don't care. So why do we listen to them? And again, like I believe I don't know if I got sidetracked, but again, what you do is you phase Ruin out over the course of multiple times. You give us other perks, new perks. Stop giving us garbage killer perks. Work on giving us a perk that can phase out Ruin. Because again, killers don't like the inconsistent reward of Ruin. If killers had an early game perk that was good enough, that we would be more than happy to take that over Ruin. The fact is we haven't gotten one, and that's why we need it. So why don't you give us a fucking perk with the next chapter that's not dog shit? Like, to be fair, Nemesis has been doing a lot more work than I thought it was gonna do. So, like, yeah, okay, fine. Nemesis was good. But, like, what besides Nemesis? You give us another perk that's good in, like, very minuscule chase situations. Like, fucking come on. Give us a fucking perk that hits them in the generators. That's what we need. Like, okay, great. I understand that Nemesis is helping people. I do. And, like, I'm not trying to rip on any of these fucking perks. But for fuck's sake, dude. Let's work on putting a perk in the game that's gonna help weed out Ruin. Because, like, the combinations, while they're cute, but we're not ready yet. We don't have the winning combination that's gonna be able to replace Hex Ruin for the satisfying to the stat. And again, you probably never will. But like, there is a point where you have to take it away. But we're not ready to take it away yet. Because again, the fact that 80% of top players are running this perk, it doesn't demonstrate a problem with this perk. It demonstrates a problem with the game itself. And the fact that at high level, there's something wrong with the game. But it's like, again, what is that in relation to anything else? What's that in relation to what the Dead Hard usage rate is? What's that in relation to the fucking Balanced Landing usage rate? Or the Claudette usage rate? Or anything? There's some significant issues with this game. and just like the ranking systems, fuck, like there's so many things in this game that are just fucking fucked, dude. But like the fact that we veterans and the ones, such as the bunch of the old school players that are even that played longer than me, that stick around and still like give you the fucking time of day. We do this because you have something here. This game is not nothing by any stretch of the imagination. You fucking have something here. And so when you balance it for the people that go, oh, that was a cheap thrill, like that sucks. It's like I trickle down balancing, dude. Like we really need to practice trickle down balancing. Rank matters, and we need to start treating rank with more respect and more dignity, because the fact that we have a terrible ranking system and we're just giving people a pass. Rank doesn't mean anything anymore. That's why you play so many fucking rank 7s who are dog shit, because it doesn't mean anything anymore. Because we're just helping survivors we're just giving survivors participation trophies for playing the game, and they get to rank up because they played and they had fun. But like, you know, we're balancing for the game for the people that go, oh, that was a cheap thrill, nothing more. The people that fucking play this game like it's life or death and war, and this is their main fucking game. We're like, well, they're not listening to us. They don't give two shits about us, dude. And it's like, well, and this is the thing. This is the thing that's gonna push a lot of veterans out of the game, myself included, dude. If this change goes in the game, I don't know how certain my future is in this game, because I hate unhealthy game design. I can't stand it. And this is one of those changes that will push me out of the game, because it demonstrates. It's not even about the fact that you've made the game unbalanced. It's the fact that you're not listening to people. It's the fact that the data is telling you that there's something wrong with the game, and you're completely misreading the data or misusing it. You said that you're going to sit here and hire more killer mains to help you design the game and balance stuff. Well, like, which percentage of your killer mains said this was a good idea? I'd like to know that. Who thought that was a good idea? And like, this is something that you can't just do it. You have to phase this perk out over time. You have to fucking you phase it out over time. I don't understand how hard that is. You put this in your newsletter that we're gonna attempt to phase out Hex Ruin over the next few years. Over the next year. If you had said that and you just told killer mains, well, okay, this perk isn't really working. People don't really like playing against it. A lot of people have said that they have distaste in running it, and it's inconsistent reward. So we're going to fucking try to fucking get rid of it. We're gonna try to make the game healthier, and like like not even just perks. Just like, I really feel like if you added 30 more seconds onto the gen times, like we would be in a position where we could really just get Ruin out of the game now. Like, there's so many ways, there's so many options you have to healthily phase Ruin out of the game. Ruin isn't a perk you just announce on January 6th you're deleting from the game. It's not like that. It's not like you can't just do that. This is a perk that needs like again, I'm willing to work with behavior on trying to weed this perk out. I think we can do better than Hex Ruin in terms of making this game more balanced and giving killers the tools necessary. I don't think Hex Ruin is a permanent solution. But I think right now, it's not the time to put these changes in. And like, seriously, I think if you just fucking listen, at this particular moment, if this is like the make or break situation. A lot of your veterans right now, because this change isn't officially in the game yet. There's some people are hoping that this doesn't get in. And this is the time where you can really listen to your fan base. If you claim you listen to people, this is the time to do it. Where it's time to say, okay, we had a rash idea. It's not really it didn't work. But, like, if this is one of those perks where the fucking community needs to be working with the developers to help phase out. Because, again, getting rid of this perk is not something I'm against. But this is a perk that if we're going to fucking take this perk out, we have to be really fucking careful with how we fucking do it. But and it's something that I don't see that fucking care being taken. I don't see that attention being given. I don't see that. And it's frustrating me because it just seems like it doesn't seem to like we're gonna do what's best for this game. We're gonna fucking do what's gonna take the fucking thing that people are bitching out of the game right now, so we can make those people happy, so we can keep the casuals around longer. And it's insulting to people that have, like, you've played this game for a year. Like, it's insulting to me. Like, I didn't need Demogorgon in this game to care about it. And it must be especially insulting to the people that, like, were playing when the perk first came out. And it's like, they didn't need a Freddy Krueger in this game to care about it. They were here because they thought you had a good concept. And it's like, this game isn't just, like, we're not here playing this because we care about these characters. Like, as much as we love these characters, this is a fucking game where you could fucking take this to tournament and balance it. And what pisses me off is that how close we were. We were so fucking close, like 6 months ago, to being able to start a healthy weeding out of Hex Ruin. But now we're not anywhere near that because we're taking out Hex Ruin rashly. And we've nerfed so many killers that we're not ready to take this perk out yet. And now it's going to be forced upon us without an adequate replacement. I tell you, you put these changes in the PTB, survivor win rates go up. And I hope they do. I hope when they put that change in the PTB, I hope in the PTB survivors are killing it. I hope they are crushing it at every single turn. I hope they are completely destroying killers. I hope it's like at least 80%, 80-20. Like, I'm hoping that the devs are seeing that these losses are taking place among people. And I'm hoping that the game comes out and people start losing. I wish nothing but the worst for the game at the moment. Because we need people to see that this change is garbage. And the only way to see that is to go in there and get your ass kicked. Okay, no skin off my ass at this point. I've hit red rank on Switch. Again, doesn't mean as much as red rank here, but like the fact that I'm a red rank player means I've finally gotten to red rank on a balanced version of Dead by Daylight. So I don't give two shits about what happens to me after the fucking perk changes go in. Because I know with the tools that I should have on an even footing, I can get to red rank. So like, so it's fuck it, dude. You don't need to sit there and take this dog shit. Weeding out Hex Ruin is not something you just fucking do. And since the devs feel like they're all high and mighty, like, why should we stick around and play this game? That's what I want to know. What makes them think we should stick around and play this game if they're not going to listen to us and treat us like absolute fucking dog shit? That's what I want to fucking know, dude. Ridiculous. This whole thing is ridiculous.